Okay, so what are my shoes of 2024? Well, firstly, I can only comment on shoes that I have run in. And I haven't run in that many shoes. So this is a video that describes my favorite shoe of 2024 of the shoes that I've run in. And these shoes before you are the main ones that we will be considering. There are a few others that I've run in, like the Puma Fast R Elite 2, which I love, but I didn't run in it enough to comment on it, so I can't consider it. And the Puma Deviate Nitro 3, but again, I haven't run in it enough to consider it. So these are shoes that I've run in substantially enough to consider, and it's not that many. So of the shoes that we are going to consider, or the shoes that we are going to consider include the Adidas SL2, the Kalenji Jogflow, the recently acquired Asics Nova Blast 5, pretty shoes. The Alligator Mother, this is not a joke, Alligator Mother running flip-flops. There's going to be a future video on these things. I know it seems like I'm kidding, but these things are legit. I'm serious, it's true. And these, the New Balance 1080 V13, shoes that people seem to either love or hate. The Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, there's my other flip-flop. Hi, buddy. The Asics Superblast 2 and the Nike Zoomfly 6. Okay, Zoomfly 6, there it is. So just with a bit more contrast, here are the shoes in question. Okay, so which of these shoes is my shoe of the year? I'm going to rate them from my least favorite to my favorite. And there's a bit of nuance and a few things to unpack. Okay, so firstly, the Adidas SL2 are fantastic shoes. I had very many great training sessions in these shoes. They're capable of very good speed. I ran a 10K race in them, but they performed very, very well. But they ended up giving me soleus problems, which is a strange thing because they have a 10mm drop, which should offload your Achilles and your calves. But I kept getting calf issues with these shoes. And I went away with them, I came back to them, calf issues. Went away, came back, calf issues again. So I haven't been using them lately. I don't know if it's something to do with my mechanics and this shoe, that for whatever reason, it might be the geometry of the shoe that result in me getting calf issues, or if it's some kind of fluke. So we'll leave that as an unanswered question for now. If I forget about the calf issues, these are fantastic shoes to run in. But because of those calf issues and because of the uncertainty of that, I'm not going to consider these shoes as one of the top shoes. These shoes, they're incredibly dirt cheap, but they're so flexible. They got a terrible upper. They got terrible outsole. The quality of the midsole is not very good, but just because they're so flexible, they have been really good. I've had some really good runs. I can get and they're 4mm drop. I should really emphasize that. So I can get really fast turnover in these shoes, and they're good for foot strength and just strengthening my foot as being the toe-off mechanism, the lever from which I toe off, or lever as the Americans say. So there's this for its price, these Kalenji Jogflow shoes. I'm going to get the Kalenji Jogflow 500. It's a dirt cheap decathlon shoe, but because of that 4mm drop, I have this shoe has a special place in my heart. So not to be written off, and it's dirt cheap. Now this Nova Blast 5. I had one run in the shoe, so I can't comment on it too much. Very, very energetic ride. Also very fast turnover, very fun. I felt the bounce, a soft bounce. I was surprised by how soft it is. Very comfortable, very plush upper, very snug fit. It wanted me to go a little bit faster, so I had to kind of fight the shoe a little bit too, because I was wearing a heart rate monitor and it was a recovery run to keep my heart rate where I wanted it to. I kind of had to, I couldn't get into a rhythm as comfortably as I can with the 1080 V13, a slow rhythm that is. These are very comfortable, slow. These are very slow shoes. These wanted to go a little bit faster for that run. So it was a bit tricky. And at the end of the run, my knees really hurt. And I'm not going to say that it's these shoes. I haven't had knee pain like that for a long time in any other shoe. I'm not saying it's the shoes. For sure, I have to assess it more before I'm going to say it's the shoes. But there's an 8mm drop, and they're very soft and bouncy. My other 8mm drop shoes are they're harder, or I have something like this, which is soft but less bouncy, and it's got a 6mm drop. So I don't know if it's something to do with that, or the geometry, or if it's not the shoes at all. And it's one run, so I have to tease out whether or not it is the shoes. But I had knee pain after the run in these shoes. So I really want, because the run was so fun until the knee pain, I want these shoes to work with me. I hope they work with me. I hope it's not going to be that it's a mismatch. Because otherwise it was a really, really fun run. But I'm going to stay away from these shoes. There's going to be a lot of talk about these shoes in the future, but I'm training for a half marathon, so I have to stay away from these shoes in case they're aggravating my knees. And they were going to be the replacement to these shoes. Okay, so let me speak about these. The New Balance 1080 V13, very plush, very soft. The most comfortable shoes in my rotation. For walking, the 6mm drop makes them very natural. The foam is very squishy. There is some bounce. It's not fast. It's not a jarring bounce. It's really a shock-absorbing recovery shoe, comfortable shoe. If you do need to pick up the pace, you're going to fight the foam to pick up the pace, but because of the lightness of the shoe, you can. It's got a nice, for what it is, for a sort of Max Stack-ish shoe, it's very lightweight. So it's been a perfect shoe for recovery miles. But it's just the foam is starting to get compressed. It's got over 400 kilometers of running and maybe another 400 kilometers of walking on it. So this is starting to feel flat. And it bottoms out much more frequently now from all the running. So I was thinking that these are going to give me a slightly more energetic recovery run. I got these mainly for recovery runs, since the Novablast 5 are, they are quantitatively softer than the Novablast 4. And you can feel the softness. I was surprised by how soft they are when I put them on. So I thought, okay, these could be my replacements for these guys. But then I had the knee thing. Again, I'm not sure it's the shoes. But I'm going to stick with these, even though they may be over their limits. I'm going to stick with these until after my half marathon, which is in 2 weeks, after which I'll assess these and compare them to my shoes. But these guys, I think you guys might have guessed what's going on by the way I'm showing this video, but these guys, the New Balance 1080 V13, are my number 3. I can't count. Number 4. These are my 4th. I wanted to just show you my top 3, but these almost made top 3. My 4th best shoe of the year. Fantastic recovery shoe, very comfortable shoe, very protective shoe, a fantastic walking shoe, plush shoe. By far the most comfortable shoe that I own. This is the king of recovery and my 4th favorite shoe of the year. Okay, I'm just going to leave these flip-flops out of the equation for now. I promise you they're legit, more to come. Okay, so then my 3rd favorite shoe, and my racing shoe, my fastest shoe. Beautiful shoe. A lovely sock-like upper. It's just such a comfortable shoe to wear. So lightweight, very fast. And I'm going to be racing my half marathon in 2 weeks in these babies. And they are the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. Because they're comfortable, they're stable. And as I've gone from being more on the heel to more on the forefoot, they've been very forgiving. Would be better if they had a little bit more foam under the forefoot, but the plate is really, really stiff. And if you get tired, they have lots of stability, and they've got a lot of stack under the heel, definitely enough stack under the heel, and they've just been great racing shoes. As I say, they're lightweight and they're very comfortable. They're comfortable racing shoes. They've got your back, and they're very, very fast. So these are my 3rd favorite shoes of 2024. So what are my top shoes of 2024? We have 2 left. Superblast 2 and the Zoom Fly 6, which are my favorite. Okay, guess what it is? And it's very close. Because let me just tell you, when I put these on recently, I was blown away. I wasn't expecting these shoes to be so good. I was expecting them to be good. People were speaking about them. I was worried that they wouldn't be good. I was worried that they were overhyped. I had seen some runners, some running YouTubers not like the shoes, and I was concerned that they were overhyped. And I didn't have really huge expectations, but man, these shoes are fantastic. They are very responsive. They're very comfortable. They're bouncy, but not aggravating. They're protective. Despite having not the biggest platform on the hill, they're stable for me. As I say, I landed on my forefoot, so they're stable for me. If you do land on the hill carefully, there's a lot of stack on the hill, so it's got a squishy, comfortable heel. And the plate is very responsive. Besides the plate, they're very soft with the ZoomX on top. There's just a lovely softness, and the carrier foam complements the ZoomX very well in these shoes. It kind of reminds me how the Lightstrike Pro carried the Lightstrike Pro in the, let me just show you, in the SL2 is almost like a plate between the Lightstrike carrier foam. And it just works so well in that shoe. It works so well. And this foam combination and the plate sandwich between works so well in this shoe. And this upper is fantastic. I think it's a great quality upper. Some people don't think the shoe looks good. I agree when it comes to the black color, but I think this colorway looks amazing. The Elliot Kipchoge colorway with the Kenyan dust red at the bottom, it just looks, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love looking at this shoe, and I just love how fast it is, and it feels comfortable at a slow pace as well. It's versatile. You can totally race in this. It's not much slower than my Endorphin Pro 4. And these guys are just reliable. Superblast 2 are reliable long run shoes. For such a voluminous shoe, such a big shoe, and this is half a size bigger than my Nova Blast. Okay, you can see if you look at this, you can see how much bigger the Super Blast is at only half a size bigger. So the Super Blast is a UK 11.5, whereas the Nova Blast 5, Super Blast 2 11.5, Nova Blast 5 is a 11. So you can see how big it is. It's a bit too big, but it's fine. I do have to do, as you can see, a runner's knot in these shoes to get a proper lockdown sometimes. But these shoes are, just because they're a bit big, I need half a size to a size smaller than what I have. But these shoes are incredibly lightweight for their size. They're fast. I've come to love the ride on these shoes. I'm addicted to the ride on these shoes. They're so stable. They got my back more than any other shoe. They're ultimately stable. Then they lock into my half marathon training pace so well. I've used them for 11K runs in the middle of the week, for every run except easy runs, which they can even do. And just for being comfortable, for being protective, for being stable, for being lightweight, for having such a consistent ride that I know I can trust, that I've come to love so much. These are my shoe of 2024. These guys came close. They just came out of nowhere. But the shoe of 2024 for me is the Asics Super Blast 2, with the runner-up being the Nike Zoom Fly 6.